A very warm welcome to this edition of KTN Prime. It's Monday, the 20th of August, 2012. My name is Betty Callow. Before we get to the news, let's take a look at the highlights. Tension in Mandera as 5 people were killed by armed militia.
Wengine wanasema tio Raila alikiuka ahadi. Nasema Raila hawezi kukiuka ahadi.
I did not forsake you, Raila tells Muslims as he courts the Muslim vote. Concerns raised over increasing cases of mother-to-child HIV transmission.
The government should not wait until the last time. From tomorrow, they should start engaging Kenya National Union of Teachers.
And still on KTN Prime, KOTU backs the impending teachers' strike. Glad to have your company tonight. KTN Prime begins now. Now, 5 people were killed and 17 abducted at Toroko village in Mandera County today morning in what area leaders suspect could be a politically motivated attack. Mandera Central Member of Parliament Abdi Kadir Mohammed is accusing government of inaction, claiming the provincial administration knew about the plan to attack the village beforehand. The death toll from the inter-clan attacks now rises to 13 in less than 3 days. KTN's Ansui Mwende reports.
With just over 6 months to the elections, historical clan rivalry in Mandera County has escalated to bloody attacks. Members of the Digodia clan say they are under attack from the Gare in what they claim to be a politically motivated offensive. Mandera Central Member of Parliament Abdi Kadir Mohammed, a member of the Digodia clan, says 5 people were killed Monday morning at Toroko village.
A militia from Ethiopia did attack a town in Banisa district called Toroko, and that 5 people were killed. We are very disappointed with the security efforts by the Kenya government, because this was information that was with the security apparatus for the last 1 week. We have had this problem for about 8 months now.
Abdi Kadir claims the attackers are fighters trained to fight alongside the transitional federal government in Somalia, whose term came to an end Monday.
These militias were indeed trained by the Kenya government for the Somali conflict, and the same militias are now being used to destabilize the whole of northern Kenya. It's really a very unfortunate situation.
Calls to the acting Internal Security Minister Yusuf Haji, Northeastern Provincial Commissioner Ernest Munyi, and the leader from the accused clan went unanswered. Neither were text messages responded to. The aggrieved clan also claims that the security system, including the National Intelligence Service and SIS, does not respond to their distress calls in case of attacks. And now this clan feels ignored by its own government.
Ndugu zetu, tumeomba kwa njia yote, tumekosa usalama. Mahali sasa imefikia, sisi kwa banda ya serikali hatuna haki. Na itafika kiwango ya kujikinga kama serikali hatachukua hatua.
To appeal to the people who live in those 2 areas, those 2 districts, that it's really in their interest to keep the peace, that deaths don't help anybody.
Abdi Kadir is the first Digodia Member of Parliament to represent Mandera Central after defeating former MP Bilo Kero in the last general election. The majority Gare have historically represented the constituency. The Gare are found in Wajir, Mandera and parts of Somalia and Ethiopia. And so Mundia, KTN Prime. On to matters education now. Following the strike notice by the Kenya National Union of Teachers, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has come out supporting the teachers union, calling on the government to immediately start negotiations with the teachers instead of treating the matter casually. Well, teachers issued their strike notice yesterday, calling on all teachers not to resume work at the start of 3rd term.
Teachers have received backing on their planned strike slated to begin on the 3rd of September in their quest to force the government to pay them their allowances. Speaking in Nairobi, KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli said that teachers have every right to fight for improved remunerations and government should treat their demands as urgent.
The government, after receiving the purposes of the notice, is to engage the union. We expect the government from tomorrow to start engaging the union, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, so that we can avoid confrontation.
Concerns abound over the stalemate between government and teachers, as school-going children would be adversely affected, considering third term is the shortest and most critical in the school calendar.
The government should not wait until we go on strike. Why? You tell them the children are going to suffer. Don't tell the teachers. The teachers are suffering. But tell the government, don't you see, the children are going to suffer.
Teachers were promised a house allowance adding up to 50% of the basic salary, a medical allowance of 20% and a commuter's allowance of 10%. Other allowances included transfer allowances, accommodation allowances and advances of up to 600,000 shillings for those teachers who wish to purchase vehicles.
Why must the government wait for teachers to go on strike to sort out issues? They had all the energy the other day to run around and chase around minor issues ranging from miniskirts to tuition.
Negotiation is give and take. If the government met that, they will see which percentage, how they can strike a compromise and reach an amicable agreement. So the government should not wait until the last time.
Schools are slated to resume business early September, with third term being a crucial period, especially for students sitting for the national primary and secondary examinations. Now, Prime Minister Raila Odinga is seeking the Muslim support as he builds up his presidential campaign for the next general elections. Raila, who addressed a Muslim gathering in Mombasa, sold his bid to Muslims, citing that he spearheaded the inclusion of Catholic courts to the new constitution as part of the said MOU between him and the Muslim voters. KTN's Ashamulu has the details.
Takbir! Takbir!
Political gloves are coming off and the race to succeed President Kibaki is just warming up. Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who has his eyes set on the top seat, is now out to win the Muslim vote. The Premier, who attended Eid celebrations in Mombasa, took Muslims down memory lane, citing that he honored their memorandum of understanding by ensuring that the Qadhi's court system was maintained under the new constitution.
Wengine wanasema tio Raila alikiuka ahadi. Nasema Raila hawezi kukiuka ahadi. Tuliporudi mara hii wakasema haiwezekani mambo ya Qadhi's court kuingia, maana yake sisi tuna mahakama ya Kikristo. Na mimi nikasema Qadhi's court imekuwa katiba yetu tangu uhuru mpaka leo.
Raila also welcomed members of the Mombasa Republican Council to dialogue with the government on their grievances and drop the secession calls. The group, which was once outlawed, was recently declared legal by the courts and was advised to seek formal and organized recognition that would help front their complaints.
Wako ndio na kesi kubwa ile dhuluma ya kihistoria, historical injustices dhidi ya watu wa pwani. Lakini suluhisho sio kuondoka Kenya.
Meanwhile, Imenti Central MP Gitobu Imanyara was in KO South, where he asked Kenyans to pledge their loyalty to the constitution rather than to an individual. Imanyara drew examples from the Leadership and Integrity Bill, citing that those leaders seeking to water down the bill are not committed to the country's development.
I'm telling this is a futile exercise because the provisions of the constitution override any law that Parliament passes, and the integrity provisions are set out in Chapter 6.
And in Kitale Town, Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi was spreading his doctrine of non-tribal politics during the next polls, asking Kenyans to vote in a president based on his or her ideologies rather than the tribe.
We should not always tie ourselves into a tribal cocoon, that because so-and-so is contesting. Then, because if I'm seeking the presidency, I'm not seeking to be the president of a Luo nation.
Mudavadi also joined the growing list of politicians opposed to IEBC's proposed high clearance fees for political aspirants. The electoral body has argued that the fees will help identify the serious aspirants, but leaders across the country have criticized the proposal, terming it punitive to those who can't afford the fees. Asha Mwilu, KTN Prime.
The Special Programs Minister Esther Murugi says Kenya still lags behind in promoting reproductive health. More and more children continue to be born with HIV virus despite intensified campaigns on mother-to-child HIV prevention. Murugi was speaking in Nyeri at a workshop organized by Kenya Women Parliamentary Association and UNFPA to sensitize women on matters of reproductive health, where concern was also raised over the number of women who continue to die daily from avoidable birth-related complications. Well, Angel Katusia has the story.
25 women die daily in Kenya from birth-related complications. Majority of the complications can be avoided, but most of the cases happen in urban slums and rural areas where mothers have no access to equipped health facilities. This is not the only challenge facing reproductive health in the country. More and more children continue to be born with HIV virus. While attending a reproductive health sensitization workshop in Nyeri, Special Programs Minister Esther Murugi said government statistics show that 10,000 children are born with HIV virus in Kenya every year, even after intensified campaigns on mother-to-child infections.
Na figures zile tunapewa za HIV and AIDS, they are very worrying in Kenya because wale watu wamefanywa testing is only 6 million out of the 40 million, the population of Kenya. So that 4 million people don't know their status.
The minister also pointed out that many women do not seek skilled services in hospitals as they fear bad treatment by nurses in public hospitals.
In Europe, hakuna mtoto hata mmoja leo anazaliwa akiwa na HIV and AIDS. Lakini hapa Africa, in Kenya in particular, tuko na every year 13,000 children still born with HIV and AIDS.
Kenya is a signatory to UN's Millennium Development Goal number 4 and 5 on reduction of child mortality and reducing maternal deaths, respectively, by 2015. However, these two goals may remain elusive. A 2012 report on MDGs indicated that the two goals were the poorest performing in Kenya. The workshop was organized by Kenya Women Parliamentary Association in partnership with United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. For KTN Prime, I'm Angel Katusia.
The German government is concerned about Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta and Eldoret North Member of Parliament William Ruto's presidential bids. The donor country has raised pertinent issues concerning the two and their ongoing trials at the International Criminal Court. A German delegation that toured Naivasha, which bore the brunt of the post-poll chaos, asked what would happen if Uhuru and Ruto are indeed elected into government and later found guilty of the charges leveled against them.
We will look forward that everybody, also in the government, will be interested to do everything that's necessary to make sure that the process of the campaign and the elections themselves are free, fair, transparent and without violence.
It could prove very difficult for the country if a president was elected who was then subsequently brought to trial and found guilty of crimes. And that, I think, could lead to a rather difficult situation within the country.
The IEBC and the Ministry of Justice, they should also work in a very speedy way to organize voter education and civic education, because I think it is crucial that both education aspects are being taken into consideration, and that IEBC and the government take into account the help they can get from the churches to conduct civic education in a very comprehensive way.
The anticipated presidential election in Somalia has been postponed for 1 more week. The presidential poll to bring in a new regime to replace the transitional federal government was supposed to have been held today after the war-torn nation's constitution was passed on the 1st of this month.
Most of the top leaders of the transitional federal government are in the race for the presidency, including the TFG President Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, Prime Minister Dr. Abdiweli Ali, and Speaker of Parliament Sharif Hassan Sheikh Aden. Other main contenders include former Prime Minister Mohamed Geidi, Professor Ahmed Samatar, Mohamed Abdullahi Famajo, and Abdishakur Warsame in a race that has 60 competitors. It is hoped that the new government will have more widespread control over Somalia beyond Mogadishu, where the TFG has been concentrated due to the Al-Shabaab onslaught. The almost 60 contenders for Somalia's top seat have to wait for another week after the Transitional Committee missed the Sunday 20th August deadline. The Transitional Federal Government's term has expired, and the country's painstakingly chosen and reformed parliament was to elect a president who would form the next government to lead Somalis into a new era. The elected president would appoint a prime minister who would name a cabinet. The UN-backed transitional federal government bows out after 8 difficult years of trying to reunite the heavily fragmented Somali nation, torn apart by militia-based clan fighting after the fall of Mohamed Siad Barre's regime in 1991. Now out in KTN Prime.
Now, residents of Imara Daima Estate in Nairobi have complained of a perennial sewage problem that is posing a great health risk. A number of residents say that the problem is extremely urgent as the sewage finds its way into their houses, especially when it rains. Parents have expressed their concerns over their children harboring strange diseases suspected to be as a result of the effluents. Efforts to involve the City Council of Nairobi and the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company have, however, not been fruitful. They have now written to the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, expecting that the situation will be corrected.
We are young families and the children are having problems with diarrhea. There are very many mosquitoes, which means the cases of malaria will go up. So in terms also of, we are not very sure if the water that we are drinking is clean water.
You are watching KTN Prime. After the break, our weekly political analysis, Spotlight 2012. Stay tuned.
Tweet of the day in association with Duracoat's new Couture Fashion Palette.
Martha gets up early for another working day. Nakama Tony, she has to make her way. Huko Kisumu, the nets are almost ready. Kazi Kwenye Lines is going real steady. Now huko Pwani, there's business to be done, both for Mama Amina and for John. Ingawaji wakati mwingine, things don't always work out the way we want them to. Tunajua just how hard it is to work in the dark of night. But the future's looking brighter, of that you can be sure. Popote ulipo nchini Kenya na chochote ufanyacho, you can be sure Kenya Power is there. Working hard, just like you. Kenyans supply the energy. We supply the power.
It takes 1 second to enter, 1 second to come out of hiding, and 1 second to attack you.
Mosquito bites cause malaria.
1 second to infect you.
Not anymore. Now I won't give any of you even 1 second.
New Mortin Doom Power Guard.
Mortin Doom!
Mortin Doom Power Guard with new scientifically proven powerful formula not only kills faster but also longer by killing mosquitoes that surface later, and it keeps killing for up to 1 week.
Even 1 second counts when it's my family's protection.
Come on, they're asleep.
New Mortin Doom Power Guard. Nothing kills faster and keeps killing for longer.
African dishes in association with Golden Fry.
Fish fingers. Ingredients: ½ kilogram fish fillet, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 2 eggs beaten, 3 cloves of garlic crushed, 1½ cups of breadcrumbs, salt and pepper to taste, golden fry oil for frying. Directions: preheat the golden fry oil in a deep frying pan. Cut the fish into finger-shaped pieces. In a mixing bowl, combine the all-purpose flour with salt and pepper. In another mixing bowl, mix the beaten egg and crushed garlic. In a Ziploc bag, pour in the breadcrumbs. Dip the fish fingers in the flour mixture and coat evenly all round. Then into the beaten egg mixture, letting excess egg drip off. Finally, put the fish fingers into the breadcrumbs, lock the bag and shake to evenly coat the fish fingers. Fry the fish fingers in batches in the already hot oil for 2 to 3 minutes or until golden brown. Remove and drain on a paper towel. Serve with lemon halves and tartar sauce.
Golden Fry. Fries more, lasts longer.
Oh, my angel! It's been so long since I've heard you sing.
Oh, she can't. She's got a cold again.
Well, I'm sure you're taking proper care of her hygiene.
Yes, I use antiseptic liquid in her bath water.
Oh, that's smart. But germs are also getting smarter, and your protection is still the same.
So what's better?
This.
Lifebuoy?
Advanced Lifebuoy. While bathing, it gives better germ protection than antiseptic liquid. 10 infection-causing germs, 1 advanced protection. Lifebuoy.
That's right. Yeah, I wanna see it. I wanna love you tonight. They playing, that's my song. That's my song. Grab my drinks, I've been waiting so long. Let's go. Party rock is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time.
Do milk.
A little boy holds her tight. A little girl cries out loud. The fever, it hurts inside. She feels like there's no way out of this nightmare. The symptoms I speak are clear. I sit and I wonder why another one has to die. We're losing our people every day, and every day malaria thrives, taking our children and dreams away. And we stand ready to defend Africa. We take a stand to fight malaria. Please lend a hand. Save our future, take the lead. We can do it, we're a team. Together with more team.
From the city to the highway, from the off-road to the open road.
The Nissan Hardbody Double Cab, also known as a Toti, is a one-ton pickup that has stood tall amongst its peers for sheer strength and outright durability. their Toti can run for thousands of kilometers even on the toughest terrain with affordable maintenance bills. With its 2.5-liter common rail turbo engine, the Toti is African-built and tough vehicle.
Nani kama Nisa?
What if there was a way to capture the essence of nature's fresh scent? Now you can. Introducing new Airwick Aquamist. Unlike other aerosols, its propellant-free trigger mists fragrances inspired by the freshest places on Earth. Airwick Aquamist is also safe to use on fabrics. Airwick Aquamist. Release the freshness of nature in your home.
Welcome back to KTN Prime. Glad you're still tuned in. Moving on, Mombasa Tourism Circuit has received a major boost after Ethiopian Airlines incorporated its newly acquired aircraft christened Africa First to link Moi International Airport in Mombasa with 69 other destinations in the world. The new 290 passenger capacity aircraft, Boeing 787 Dreamliner, is the first commercial airplane of its kind in Africa.
It is the much-awaited aircraft in Kenya, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. While Kenya is waiting for her Dreamliner to be delivered, Ethiopian Airways is flying high with this latest acquisition delivered on the 14th of August. The big plane touched down on Kenyan soil at the Moi International Airport, Mombasa. The state-of-the-art aircraft, the only commercially operated in Africa and second in the world after those operated by Japan Airways, amazed many. The Ethiopian Dreamliner will connect a corridor of 3 airports, including Mombasa, Kilimanjaro and Addis Ababa, which opens the door to including Mombasa in 69 international airports, which the Dreamliner is scheduled to fly. This is expected to drastically boost tourism in Mombasa.
The Vision 2030, pillar number 1, is tourism. And we are glad Ethiopian Airlines have shown the confidence to fly to Mombasa.
And I think that has been a very good benefit to this airport, to the stakeholders who are here, and even the hoteliers.
The Dreamliner is a super efficient airplane with new passenger pleasing features. QQ has already placed an order for a similar Dreamliner expected to be delivered in 2013. Angel Katuse, KTN Prime.
Now, the latest alliance and the first officially declared pre-election pact between Uhuru Kenyatta, Eugene Wamalwa and Raphael Tuju has caused ripples in totally unexpected quarters. Tonight in our weekly political segment, Spotlight 2012, KTN's Noah Otieno looks at the impact of the Eugene-Uhuru axis on the presidential lineup.
More than anything else, the members of the so-called G7 alliance have done in the last 1 year, the unveiling of the latest pre-election pact uniting Eugene Wamalwa and Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta has hinted on a radical change of plans and a possible definite parting of ways among Uhuru's perceived former allies.
We shall, within the time limits given by the law, be able to put together a cohesive, strong, and undoubtedly a winning combination.
Uhuru's choice of Eugene also sends very powerful signals to Musalia Mudavadi that he is not the chosen one. But why the sudden change of tact?
Probably the latest connection between Uhuru and Wamalwa is informed by the fact that Wamalwa himself is relatively more manipulable than Musalia. And sometimes you get the impression that he's even not sure of what he wants. So he's a better person to deal with than Musalia. Musalia, when he quit ODM, he was certain that he now knows what he wants. He's not a 2002 candidate anymore. He's a candidate who wants to be the chief executive of the country. And therefore, that ambition of Musalia is at par with the ambition of Uhuru.
Musalia Mudavadi is going directly. It's like he's competing directly with Uhuru Kenyatta to win the support of Mount Kenya, to an extent that he's saying, tell Uhuru to support me because I was his running mate in 2002. And that appears to have antagonized Uhuru and TNA to the extent that Musalia Mudavadi is trying to directly secure the votes in Mount Kenya, even as he talks of trying to have a pact with him. He's campaigning directly in his stronghold. And I think Uhuru Kenyatta has responded by saying that I'll take Eugene Wamalwa and I'll tackle you in Western Kenya.
While some see Eugene as having abandoned his ambition for the presidency by joining a stronger presidential aspirant, others believe he has made a wise gamble that could just pay off.
But the most challenging thing also revolves around Uhuru. Uhuru himself has fanatical support in Central Kenya. But does he have the capacity to tell Central Kenya to vote for another candidate apart from himself if he's not standing? I think the fanatical support that Uhuru is receiving, I don't think I can even compare it. It does not beat the one that Matiba had. The one that Matiba had in the early 90s. But Matiba did not even have the capacity to influence them to vote another way. So what is again likely to happen is that if Uhuru is not standing for elections because of the ICC and the integrity bill, he does not have the capacity to tell Central Province to vote the way he wants.
I think Uhuru is reading from that script. But as I go for the presidency, I have to ensure that this lower block vote does not end up in one basket, even as I reach out to other constituencies. And his calculation seems to be that Musalia Mudavadi is going to be in the race. And in the absence of Musalia Mudavadi from ODM, ODM is unlikely to name a lawyer as a running mate of Raila Odinga. And therefore, Mudavadi will get a chunk, Raila will get a chunk, and I get a chunk as I reach out to the others.
More critically now for both Central Kenya and for Western Kenya is whether the new pact between Eugene and Uhuru will weaken Musalia Mudavadi's chances at the presidency.
Musalia Mudavadi, as we speak now, his own area, the Maragoli, has only 2 MPs, him and Yusuf Chanzo. So if you compare that with the Bukusu community where Wamalwa comes from, I think he starts off as an underdog. So that is a calculation of Eugene Wamalwa. In my opinion, he calculates that he is going to use that mathematics to get to State House.
The only way Musalia Mudavadi would have an iota of a chance of getting a first round win is if all of the G7 alliance leaders, amorphous as it is, gave him backing. And that would mean that amongst others, Uhuru Kenyatta gives him that backing. But ever since he left ODM, we have seen a rejuvenated Uhuru Kenyatta who has gone out of his way not only to popularize his party, the National Alliance, but to make it very clear that he is in this race to the end.
Interestingly, Uhuru's latest maneuver to grab Eugene has also killed the quest for Western political unity fronted by presidential aspirants Moses Wetangula, Eugene Wamalwa, Cyrus Jirongo, and Bifoli Wakoli.
Wetangula also wants to be presidential candidate. Musalia also is determined to be presidential candidate. So that Luya unity, for it to work, it means Eugene should be play second fiddle either to Wetangula or to Musalia, which he is not ready to do. So when it happened like that, Eugene moved on. And Eugene moved on. And as he moves on like that, he meets Uhuru, who says, I can embrace you.
For now, both Eugene and Uhuru know there are circumstances that could make either of them be the presidential candidate in their alliance. Now, KTN for Spotlight 2012.
of the day in association with Duracoat's new Couture Fashion Palette. Leave it to the experts to give you more reasons to combine color.
As Kenya continues to develop at the county level, you are more and more interested in the stories and issues that touch on your county. That's why the County Weekly is committed to giving you more of the facts you care about. Facts about your county, your stories, your issues, your county. County Weekly. It's new, it's fresh, it's relevant. Get your copy today.
Time for some sporting action. Kenya under